Session is only a couple of weeks away as lawmakers get ready to pass legislation that failed in the previous session. We have Peoria's own State Senator Dave Koehler in the studio with us now to break it down and some other happenings in the Illinois politics sphere. Thank you so much for coming on, Koehler.
Thank you, Kevin.
So I did see that you were at the Liberty Steel Mill.
Yes.
And what was that all about? Why were you there?
Well, it was really to introduce Congressman Eric Sorensen to what goes on at Liberty Steel. This is a plant that's over 130 years old, and it's been one of the mainstays of the Peoria area. I mean, it's produced a lot of jobs, and it's very important that we continue seeing that plant thrive. So this is a chance just to look at it and to see, you know, what kind of exciting things are coming in the future, which are pretty exciting.
Yeah, it sounds good. They have their HQ. They're wanting to move. There's a lot of things. Moving more to veto session, there's been some energy legislation that failed in the previous session, mainly focusing on energy storage and ending the nuclear moratorium.
Right.
Can you kind of break those down for us a little bit and what you know about those and how you feel about it?
I'm on the Energy Committee, and so we've had several meetings now, subject matter hearings, where we're looking at all the issues. It remains to be seen whether something's going to be ready for veto session or not.
Right.
You know, if it doesn't happen, then it could come back in January, and we could decide then. But I think it's very important that we do pass an energy bill that contains battery storage.
Yeah, and I think as well this bill was in talks before energy rates were increased, and we kind of knew utility rates would go up. But were you surprised to hear that a lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh, my utility bill is so expensive"?
Well, I know a lot of people were surprised. I was not surprised because when MISO, which is our grid operator, there's 14 states that are in MISO, they went out for a capacity auction to bid on electric prices for the summer. That price was sky high, so we knew that that was going to be a problem for the summer. That's why battery storage is so important. You know, in reality, we have enough solar energy that has not been hooked up into the grid at this point that we could have offset all that.
Oh, really?
Yes, and so the problem is that you need battery storage, you need interconnection. You know, solar is not going away, and it's in fact the projections from the Department of Energy out of Washington are that solar is going to far outpace all other forms of energy in terms of future growth.
And I know when it comes to some of the things people were worried about, especially with solar, is that a lot of it comes from China, and there was recently limitations. I'm not sure of the exact specifics in the Big Beautiful Bill that limited it. Well, there's the solar tax credits that were cut, but there was some limitations on China being able to send it to America. Do you know more about that?
No, I don't, and I know that that's been a problem. But personally, you know, I have solar in my house. I found American companies that could provide me solar panels. Okay. So if you look, they're there.
All right, sweet. And when we're looking at October veto session, are there any other pieces of legislation that are mine that, you know, Democrats and maybe you are wanting to pass?
Well, you know, the big talk is about, of course, the transit bill, and it affects primarily Chicago because they're trying to consolidate. I mean, the state is saying, okay, if we're going to consider anything in terms of helping to bail you out, you've got to consolidate and stop operating in silos because you've got different systems that are just, you know, kind of all over the place.
Yes.
The important thing for downstate is that, and I'm the chair of the downstate Senate Democrat caucus, is that we negotiated a package for the 54 downstate transit districts as a part of that. And, you know, we want to make sure that that is contained in the legislation that comes forward because our transit districts are important to our communities too. Maybe not the same way that they are for Chicago, but they are for Peoria, for Springfield, for Bloomington Normal, for Rockford. I mean, transit is important because it allows students to get to school, it allows people to get to work, people to go to the doctor's appointments. We've got to have a viable transit system in our communities. So we have negotiated that as a piece of this, that if you expect us to help you, you have to help us. And
very quickly, you have a town hall right all about this, right?
Yeah, Mayor Ali and I are going to talk about how important transit is. And I think we're even going to get into the fact that Peoria is the only major metropolitan area in Illinois that does not have a train to Chicago, and that's an important part of this as well. So yes, we're doing that on Monday night, and it'll be at City Hall. So we hope that people will join us.
All right, sweet. Thank you so much for joining me, Senator. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next up, we'll have a Republican senator on to talk about veto session, but first we'll have a look at your local weather authority. Stay tuned.